When's the last time we had Tim Kurkjian on?
I would guess 2016 with the Cubs. Checking my record.
Why has he been avoiding us?
That's a travesty. That's way too long.
Why is he avoiding us? Could be on us. Let's bring in Tim Kurkjian. Tim Kurkjian, ESPN. Hi, Timmy. How are you?
I'm good, Dan. I have not been avoiding you. Why would I do that? I used to be on your show every Friday. It was great.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to blame Fritzy for that. Fritzy, why haven't you had Tim Kurkjian on?
It is a major oversight. I love Timmy, and I have no excuse for that. But
Fritzy's always going, let's get Verducci on. And I go, and Rosenthal. And I said, wow, what about Kurkjian?
I did say Buster can't do it today, so what about Tim? We were okay with it.
It's great to have you on, Tim. Great to talk to you again. And, we were talking about this with the strikeouts when we were growing up. If you struck out 100 times as a hitter, that was embarrassing. Now, it's okay. At what point did we change where it's okay to strike out in baseball?
For me, Dan, it came in the mid-'80s when Bo Jackson, Jim Presley, Rob Deere, Pete Incaviglia, they all came to the big leagues at the same time. Big, strong guys, swung as hard as they could, hit 25, 30 homers a year, struck out 150 times, and ever since then, it has been okay to K. That's about 35 years. But the last 5 to 10 years, this is completely out of control now. 1,092 more strikeouts in April than there were hits. It is ridiculous. You talk about 100 strikeout guys, Dan, from 1900 to 1963 combined, there were 94 individual players who struck out 100 times. And now, every year, we have 160 guys or so who strike out 100 times or more. It's amazing what we're watching these days, and it's mostly because the stuff these guys see on a nightly basis is ridiculously good. The velocity is so far off the charts, and yet it's the secondary stuff that's even better than the velocity. And it comes down to this. When Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, Garrett Cole are dealing and they're locating, our hitters have no chance against them. They don't just make an out, they strike out. It's remarkable what we're watching every night now.
But also, and I know I'm the get off my lawn guy, but put the ball in play. Like put your bat on the ball, and you don't see that. And this is what I miss with baseball. It's subtle, but it is the hit and run, a stolen base, hitting it the other way. Oh, there's a shift on. Oh my gosh. How about you just hit it where there's nobody over there? So, can you see somebody embracing what Whitey Herzog had with the Cardinals, where it's going to be speed and defense and running, like something that's counterintuitive to what we have? Will we have a team that does that?
No, Dan, we won't. That Cardinal team was built for doing that. They played on AstroTurf. They had a bunch of really fast guys. They beat the ball into the ground and outran everybody. We don't play that game anymore. Dan, I did the game last night, Ravi, Eduardo Perez, and I, and we had 2 bunts for a hit, and we had 2 sacrifice bunts last night, and 1 was a squeeze. And I almost started to cry. I was so happy to see that because we don't play that game anymore. I mean, look at the Yankees. I'm doing the Yankee game tonight with Ravi and Eduardo. The Yankees don't have a triple yet. They have 7 stolen bases all season, which is a lot for them, but it's the fewest in the league, and they average about 1 double per game. This is where we are. If you don't hit the ball out of the ballpark, as most teams do, you simply don't win these days. And I desperately miss growing up at a time where Rod Carew would dump a bunt and get a hit. Brett Butler would drag one to the right side and get a hit. And we don't have that anymore. And I miss it because I think those are the most skillful, exciting parts of the game. And I think we're all a little bit tired of just watching guys hit it as far as they can and striking out 3 times in between.
I was also wondering about the pitching stats here. We've had 4 no-hitters already this season. If it's a swing and miss league and nobody's putting the ball in play, then we're probably going to break the single season no-hit record, I'm going to guess. Or we should be flirting with it, right?
Well, 8 is the record. That was done in the 1800s. But Dan, you're right. We have lost the value of the hit in the game today. We're no longer interested, nor are our hitters being taught to hit a hard ground ball through that hole over there. They're not interested in getting a single. Last year, Dan, the Reds, who made the playoffs, had more walks than singles. It's the first time in history any team has finished with more walks than singles. That's where we are now. But I'm going to try to defend our hitters because I'm with you on this. Can we please just put it in play? Can we please beat the shift over there? But our guys have been swinging the same way for 15 years. They have one swing, and it's beautiful. And if you run into that bad path, it's not a liner to left, it's a home run. To ask these guys who have been hitting the same way for 15 years, okay, we're going to make a big change tonight. We want you to choke up and hit it to right field, and we want you to do it against Max Scherzer tonight. Good luck with that. It's like telling a basketball player, you know the way you've been shooting for all these years? We want you to change your shooting motion tonight. And we want you to not follow the flight of the ball. A lot of guys still do that. That's a hard thing to do. So I think to ask a hitter, hey, we want you to make a change and we want you to go out and get a hit off of Justin Bieber. Well, good luck with that. So that's the concern is this is going to take years to make the change. And we're going to have to literally go to batting cages where 10-year-olds are hitting and tell them, all right, this is what we want you to do. We want you to hit it over there, and we don't want you to try to get it up in the air every single time.
You just called Shane Bieber Justin Bieber.
I did not. Did I really? And I wouldn't know Justin Bieber if I fell over him. Oh, God, I'm sorry.
What happened to you? This is why we don't have Tim Kurkjian on, Todd.
Justin Bieber? What is that all about? I thought he knew his baseball.
I'm sorry. That's terrible.
You know what? We'll take it out of the re-air, okay? So don't worry about that. We'll clean it up.
Well, I don't know anything about music, Dan. I just found out the other day that Chris Martin is the lead singer in Coldplay. I wouldn't know one of their songs if it hit me over the head either. So anything that is pop culture-wise, just leave me out.
What's the last concert you attended?
Well, I've only been to 3 in my whole life, and I'm 64 years old. I went to see Dan Fogelberg in college on a date. That was a disaster, by the way. Then
why was it a disaster?
Well, me and a woman in college, I had no idea what to do. That's why it was a disaster. And by the way, that still goes today.
So you were striking out at the rate of today's baseball players.
Way worse than today's rate, yes. I didn't even try, actually.
You didn't have a launch angle, did you?
Right. And then my daughter in the 8th grade, we went to see Yellow Card, which I kept getting mixed up. I kept calling him a Green Card because I mix him up with Green Day or something. And stupid me, having been to one concert in my life, I was told concert starts at 7:30. So I have 5 8th grade girls in my car. And I think, all right, concert starts at 7:30. We'll be done by 9, home by 10. It'll be great. They had like 4 bands play before Yellow Card or Green Card or whatever they were called. And they went on at 10:30. We got home at like 1:30 in the morning on a school night. The women were like ready to kill me. It was so bad. And then I saw Kenny Chesney at Syracuse when we dropped our daughter off for college about 10 years ago. So I'm 64 and I've been to 3 concerts in my life. And I just found out the other day, Molly Hatchet is not a woman. So someone should have told me that before this.
How are the Dodgers? When do you start to worry if you're a Dodger fan here, Tim?
Well, they've lost 15 out of 20, and during that stretch, only the Tigers have played worse than the Dodgers. Who knew? This is the ultimate beauty of the game, Dan. The Warriors in their great days never had a 5-15 stretch where you wondered, are they okay? The Dodgers are going to be fine. They got a bunch of injuries. They haven't hit in 2 weeks. It's going to change. They're going to be the best team in baseball by the end of the year, but it just shows you when people ask me when the season started, will the Dodgers win 117 games this year? I said, no, it's too hard to do that in today's game. So this is a bad, rough patch for them. They'll get out of it. They'll be great before long.
Do you still play basketball?
Yeah, I played the other day. This was so bad. I was in a gym and I was just shooting by myself. And these two kids came up to me. There was another like old guy in there shooting at another hoop. The two little kids, probably 10 years old, said, "Do you guys want to play 2-on-2?" So I assumed the two old guys would pair up and we'd have a little, a young guy and an old guy. Instead, the two little guys wanted to play the two old guys 2-on-2. So that was the last time that I played, and I took that 10-year-old to the rack, believe me, which I was pretty proud of because he was bigger than I was. So
now, you used to play hoops with Cal Ripken, right?
yes.
How good was Rip?
Amazing, Dan. He never played in high school, and he became a great basketball player. I mean, he's so big and so strong around the rim. You just cannot move him with those giant legs in the lane. So if I may, this is terrible. I should never say this. He asked me once, he said, "Show me how to do that move that you do, okay?" And it's a little guy move that if I can't make that play, I can't play anywhere, all right? So I show it to him, and it took me like a year to perfect that move for me. So I showed it to him, and then we played like 3 days later, and he's using that move in the game. 3 days it took him. But you know what he did? He practiced that. He went into the gym by himself and worked on this little shake with his left hand and then crossed to his right. The move I showed him, he had it in 3 days. It took me a year. He had it in 3 days. That's how great an athlete he is.
See, this is why we have Tim Kurkjian on, Todd.
We love Tim Kurkjian. I don't understand how this happened. Way too long.
Verducci doesn't have stories like this.
You're right. That's my bad. I got confused.
Now, Rosenthal does, but Verducci does not.
Well, Rosenthal always has a bad phone line anyway. But that's another story.
Yes. Tim, it's great to talk to you, bud. You always you put a smile on my face. I know you love the game. I'd like to love the game more. Let's put it that way. And they make it hard sometimes.
Yeah, well, we're getting back to it, Dan. Don't worry. But thanks for having me on today. It's really nice to see you.
Great to see you, Timmy. That's Tim Kurkjian. Tim Kurkjian, ESPN. And he's got the game tonight, the Yankees and the Rays, prepping for tonight's game.